Define passion.
Passion is what keeps you sleepless at night. My passion was Cuba, my country, for many, many years. You cannot imagine the treasures that we have there.
Why did you leave?
Alina Fernandez. In Miami, pretty much everybody knows who Alina is.
Alina is one of the bravest people that I know.
Everybody know in some way or know that she was the daughter of Castro.
Keeping that secret is a little bit difficult if you live in a Cuban community. My mother was engaged in the revolution because she was passionate about Cuba and whatever movement will oppose Batista at that time.
She was very pretty, blonde hair, green eyes. She was very, very popular. She was simpática.
And she fell madly in love with Fidel.
Very complicated woman who thought that she was going to become the Evita Perón of Cuba.
At the beginning of the revolution, Fidel Castro was overwhelming. He was all the time on TV, and then he suddenly jumped out from the TV screen and was in the living room.
As a dictator, he controlled the life of every of us, and he controlled more the life of his daughter.
The gesture of this young woman escaping her father's regime and going to another country and denouncing it, it's huge.
La araña pelúa. Spinning a web of lies and sadness and terror. And that's what Castro was doing.
It was an island that was a prison.
There's a whole ballet that government is used to keep it frozen in time.
You don't eat, you don't dress, you don't do anything, but you are there resisting the Americans.
You feel watched all the time, like you know someone is watching all your moves.
I get tired of that, until the moment I decide to leave my country.
The ever-changing Cuban community is always morphing, and every generation is different than the one before.
We carry the Cuban culture with us like a backpack.
There is Cuban food, there is Cuban music, there is Cuban noise, there is Cuban good and bad habits.
Exile isn't just about the political struggle. It's the painters and the writers and the architects. That's what makes us Cuban.
It is something that I've loved to celebrate through my music and that I will talk about and have talked about, even when it was not popular to do so.
I think that Cubans in their exile stayed too close to Cuba. We are 90 miles away.
After they left Cuba, they're always thinking to go back to Cuba.
I still have my round-trip ticket from Pan Am.
Well, everybody had sort of like a hope, that maybe things would not last there.
I was wrong for a change. I thought that the Cuban Revolution would not survive Fidel Castro, but it did. Now we are still in Cuba in the same situation we were.
There are generations of people that have known nothing else, and democracy is hard.
The stuff of the past is in the past. This is the time for new leadership. It is the time for new names and new stories.
My generation attached to a dream that never came true, and that wasn't real.
There was no other place like it. And it's not like it anymore.
It's always the hope, right?
For me, having the Cuban subject alive will be and is always important.
The world should care what's happening in Cuba because it could happen anywhere.
In the end, every Cuban wants the same.
Cubans are often accused of being very passionate about everything.
That's the only thing what we have now, passion. We have no country.